Hey everyone, Movie Subway here. Today we're diving into a heartwarming adventure full of surprises, and if you're a true dog lover, trust me, you won't want to miss this one. Our story begins in an old abandoned house where a group of little puppies lives happily with their mom. Among them is a cute tiny red puppy, different from all the others. Everything seems peaceful, until one day, a group of dog catchers arrives. They take the mother dog and all the puppies away. They collect every single one of them, except the little red puppy, who's hiding quietly. But when the red puppy sees his mom and siblings being taken away, he runs toward them, only to watch the shutters slam shut right in front of him, and he's left behind. He tries everything to escape, but nothing works. The scene then shifts to a girl named Emily. She's bullied at school because she studies on a scholarship. Some kids laugh at her, calling her poor, especially a girl named Florence, who makes fun of her almost every day. After school, Emily heads home. Her dad passed away years ago, and now her mom needs to leave town for work. So she wants Emily to stay with her uncle Casey until she returns. But Emily refuses. Casey is irresponsible, lives in a minivan, and can't even find a job because everyone knows he's unreliable. She definitely doesn't want to stay with him. Back to the little red puppy. He finally squeezes out from under a small gap beneath the shutter and escapes. Hungry and tired, he wanders through the city, trying to find food. He finds a biscuit lying in a park. Just when he's about to eat it, a pigeon snatches it away from him. Nearby, a man named Mr. Bridwell sees the red puppy and gently picks him up, taking him to safety. Meanwhile, Emily is collecting cans for a charity drive. But as soon as she gets home, she becomes upset because her mom has already invited Casey, and Emily has no choice but to stay with him. Her mom leaves after handing Casey the keys, and now Casey is responsible for her. The next day on their way to school, Emily spots a big tent labeled Animal Rescue. These are pets who have no families and no one to love them. This rescue tent belongs to none other than Mr. Bridwell, the same man who saved the red puppy. Emily loves pets more than anything and dreams of having one someday, so she begs Casey to stop and go inside. Casey refuses at first, reminding her they don't even have their own home, so they can't keep a pet. But Emily insists she only wants to see them, so Casey finally agrees. Inside the tent, Emily sees many adorable animals, but when she notices the little red puppy, she instantly falls in love. She wants to take him home that very moment. Casey immediately says no, the landlord won't allow dogs in the apartment building, so he pulls Emily away from the tent. When she arrives at school, her classmates tease her again. Emily feels humiliated, but her best friend Owen comforts her and tells her to ignore them. Still, things get worse when her plastic bag full of donated cans suddenly rips open in the middle of class. Everyone laughs again, making Emily feel miserable. Broken and upset, she returns home, goes straight to her room, and refuses to speak to Casey. Her school day has left her completely heartbroken. Emily sits quietly, heartbroken, but then something makes her think of the little red puppy. She quickly searches online for Bridwell's animal rescue camp, hoping she might see him again. Just then, she notices her backpack moving. Confused, she slowly walks toward it. When she opens it, she finds the same tiny red puppy inside. Emily is shocked, but overjoyed. She gently picks him up and decides to name him Clifford. She leaves her room for a moment to get him something to eat. Meanwhile, Clifford sneaks out too, and that's when Uncle Casey spots him. Casey freaks out and tells Emily to get the dog out of the house immediately. Emily begs him to let Clifford stay, and finally Casey agrees, but only on one condition. Her mom must never find out about Clifford. Soon, a video of Emily being bullied at school goes viral, breaking her even more. With tears in her eyes, she whispers, "I wish I were brave and strong, and Clifford was big enough to protect us. Then we wouldn't have to be scared of anyone." She falls asleep, hugging Clifford tight. The next morning, she wakes up, only to find Clifford has turned into a giant dog. Emily is speechless. How did this happen? She runs to Casey to tell him, but he ignores her, until he walks out of the room and sees Clifford himself. Casey screams and runs for his life inside the house while Clifford happily tries to play with him. Emily calms her uncle down, saying Clifford is still the same little puppy on the inside. Just then, Emily's mom calls. Casey quickly hangs up, pretending everything is totally fine. Before they can figure out how Clifford became so huge, their landlord suddenly arrives to fix the building's plumbing. Emily and Casey panic and quickly hide Clifford in Emily's room, because if the landlord sees him, they'll be in serious trouble. They manage to hide him, just in time. After the landlord finally leaves, Casey insists that they must return Clifford to Mr. Bridwell as soon as possible, but Emily refuses. She thinks Clifford is sick, and that's why he grew so big overnight. She wants to take him to a vet instead. Casey tries to avoid it, but Emily pleads once again. So the three of them prepare to take Clifford to the vet. On their way, they meet Emily's friend, Owen. At first, he freaks out seeing a dog the size of a truck, but after a few minutes, he joins Team Clifford. Before they can load Clifford into Casey's van, Clifford spots a giant exercise ball in the park and chases it around, causing absolute chaos. And soon the entire city becomes aware of a giant red dog running through the park. Meanwhile, in another scene, we meet Mr. Zach Tieran, a businessman who has been trying to create a formula to make objects grow bigger. His experiments have failed for years, and his company company's stock is crashing fast. Then he sees Clifford's viral video online. Immediately, he gets an idea. If he can convince investors that Clifford's size is a result of his formula, they will invest millions again, saving his company. That giant dog could solve all of his financial problems. Back with Emily, she finally arrives at the animal clinic with Clifford. The doctor examines him and says Clifford is perfectly healthy. Nothing is wrong with him at all. The receptionist then tells them, if there's anyone who can help you, it's Mr. Bridwell. Now Emily and Casey desperately want to find him. Emily remembers that Bridwell once visited her school. His address might be in the school's guest list, so the team sneaks into the school. With some difficulty, Owen and Casey manage to copy Mr. Bridwell's address from the school computer onto a small flash drive. Emily is at the school cafeteria, grabbing as much food as she can for Clifford. Suddenly, Florence and her group of friends walk in. Like always, they start bullying Emily again, but this time something unusual happens. Following Emily's scent, Clifford arrives at the school. The entire cafeteria goes silent as a giant red dog walks in. When the students learn that Clifford is Emily's pet, they instantly become amazed. They've never seen a dog so adorable and huge. Everyone starts petting Clifford and praising Emily. For the first time, she isn't ignored. She's popular. But Florence can't stand seeing Emily happy. She calls Clifford a monster, trying to embarrass her. Instead of growling, Clifford happily licks Florence's face, covering her in drool. Everyone bursts into laughter as Florence storms out in defeat. Emily finally feels confident enough to stand up for herself, and it feels amazing. Emily, Casey, Owen, and Clifford return home, only to find their apartment sealed shut. The landlord shut it down after Jack showed him Clifford's photo. Furious, the landlord believed Emily broke the no pets allowed rule. While they're stressing over what to do next, a neighbor on the floor above accidentally slips and begins hanging off the building. Before he falls, Clifford rushes in and saves him. The couple is so grateful that they let Emily and her friends use their laptop. Using the school data, Owen discovers that Mr. Bridwell will be at a hospital tomorrow for his checkup. They finally have a chance to find him. Just as they're about to leave, Jack suddenly shows up. He tells Emily that Clifford is his dog, grown big because of his experiment. But Emily explains she had Clifford when he was tiny, long before Jack saw him. Realizing she won't believe him, Jack's assistant secretly injects a tracking chip into Clifford, tagged with the company's ID. Now Jack can legally claim Clifford as his own experiment. Emily sees this happen and shouts for Clifford to run. Everyone bolts out of the building. They race toward Casey's van, while Casey himself is still fighting Jack's guards. Emily has no choice. She hops into the driver's seat and drives for the first time, with Owen beside her and Clifford hanging on for dear life. With a chaotic escape, they reach Owen's house. A few minutes later, Casey arrives as well. Emily's mom calls again, asking if everything is okay. Casey lies and says, yeah, everything's great. Right then, Clifford accidentally swallows Owen's tiny puppy because he's starving. Everyone screams in panic, until Clifford spits the little pup right back out unharmed. They quickly feed Clifford so he doesn't try to snack on anyone again. Meanwhile, Jack convinces the police inspector that Clifford is a dangerous experiment. He claims that if Clifford isn't treated immediately, he could infect the whole city. The inspector believes him and puts out a reward for anyone who captures Clifford. On the other side of town, Owen suggests that Clifford could stay at his dad's huge safari park in Korea, where he'd be safe, but Emily refuses. She doesn't want Clifford to be sent away. Casey steps in and explains calmly, if we find Mr. Bridwell, we'll take him to someone who can help, but if we don't, then sending Clifford to the safari might be the only way to keep him safe. It's painful, but she wants what's best for Clifford. The next morning, Emily and her friends reach the hospital, searching for Mr. Bridwell, but when they ask about him, they're told something shocking. Bridwell has already passed away. Emily freezes. Her last hope is gone. All she can do now is send Clifford far away, to the safari park, where he will at least be safe. With tears in her eyes, Emily watches Clifford get loaded onto a boat. The giant red dog looks back at her, confused and heartbroken. Emily forces herself to wave goodbye, and Clifford slowly disappears into the distance. The following day, something unexpected happens. They discover that Mr. Bridwell is actually alive. Owen arrives and explains that Bridwell has set up a rescue tent right there in town. Just then, news breaks on TV. Clifford has been captured on the way to the safari and is being taken to Jack's lab for experiments. Without wasting a second, Emily, Casey, Owen, and even their neighbors rush to rescue him. They reach the company headquarters and see Jack bragging to investors, claiming Clifford grew giant because of his great science experiment. He tries to convince them to invest millions. While some people distract Jack, Emily and the others sneak into the lab. Inside, they discover cages filled with helpless animals, all captured for testing. By accident, they end up freeing every single one of them. Finally, Emily reaches Clifford. He's chained, scared, and confused. But the moment he sees Emily, his tail starts wagging like crazy. Emily climbs onto his back and whispers, "Let's go home." Clifford breaks through the lab doors and sprints through the city, jumping over trucks, tearing through fences, dodging security, doing everything to get Emily safely to Bridwell's tent. Meanwhile, Casey uses the media to expose Jack's lies to the entire city. Now everyone knows the truth. Emily and Clifford arrive at Bridwell's tent. Emily pleads with him to make Clifford normal again, but Bridwell gently shakes his head and says, "I didn't make him big, Emily. Your love did, and only you can protect him." Emily takes a deep breath, stands in front of the entire crowd, and delivers an emotional speech. Everyone deserves a place in this world, no matter their color, size, or where they come from. If we all have a right to live, then why shouldn't Clifford? Her words strike everyone's hearts. The crowd cheers, supporting Clifford. Just then, Jack arrives with the police. He orders the officer to scan Clifford for his company chip to prove Clifford belongs to him. The officer scans Clifford's body, but nothing shows up. The chip is gone. Mr. Bridwell smiles quietly. He used his magic to remove it, freeing Clifford forever. With no evidence, Jack's claim collapses. The police side with Emily. The crowd cheers louder than ever. Clifford is finally accepted as her dog, loved and protected by the entire city. And that's how this wild, heartwarming story ends, with love bigger than anything in the world. If Clifford's journey touched your heart even a little, don't forget to share this video with someone who loves pets.